Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to attempt to build in the modern style, a style I haven't worked in over 6 years. To start, I began laying out all of the blocks that I would want. I decided to go for a very basic white to gray toned palette. A little bit boring, but again, it's the first time I've done this style in a while, so I wanted to keep it pretty basic. I did some cyan and green accents just to color it up later on. We're starting out this build by pretty much just framing everything out. I did look at a few real-life modern houses to get an idea of the architecture and how I might want to lay this out. I found doing a lot of these shapes at different depths and kind of connecting the horizontal lines together with some vertical lines ended up working out pretty easily. This is a style that I'm not used to. It feels at first a little bit more rigid than I would like it to, and I think the next time I attempt this style, I may try and add in some more organic shapes or curvier structures or even just structures on a diagonal to help combat this and make it a little bit more interesting for myself. At the start, I began making all of these separate squares all different colors. I end up thinking that this is a bit of a mistake and that it blends in with the mountain a little bit too much. I changed this out for a cyan after I'm finished with more of the colors, and I think that that looks a lot better. Some bushes and a pool definitely help out with those colors as well, and it's time to finally start connecting everything together. Getting the windows in place, all of those lovely little interior spots are going to need to be done, lots of edging to be done, and in general just little details like solar panels, different like units up on top of the roof. I don't know, whatever I could think of to make the style make sense. Eventually, it's time to move down to the lower half. Obviously, we need some sort of entrance up into this house. I did a little speedboat / tiny yacht design. Little vehicles like this are such a challenge to build, but they're worth it if you can pull it off. I like this one. It's not bad for my first attempt. And then, of course, it's time to work on the actual entrance. This little building in the bottom works well, and I'm going to end up creating some elevators so that we can get into the inside. Once on the inside, the possibilities are endless, and this is why I love a mountain / cliff house like this. It's so much fun to be able to expand the interior and push it all the way into the mountain. You can have secret rooms or just anything that you can imagine. And with that, we're about finished. Let's go take a little look at it in-game, shall we? Everyone, so I did some interior and I definitely want to show you that, and I'd also like to spend the last half of this video doing some critiquing for my modern style building since I haven't touched this style in such a long time. But let's start with the interior. So we land down here. This is obviously where you enter via boat. We can head inside this little building here and head to this elevator that is going to take us upwards into this little kind of porch area. Enter up through the stairs and we are on one of the roofs. We also have the option to walk down onto this little area and get the beautiful view of the world around us. Oh my gosh, I adore this seed. It's so lovely to build here. There's so many possibilities. I'll leave the seed down in the description if you guys want to check it out. Okay, and the main feature starts right through this area here. I had a lot of fun doing modern interior. I don't think ever done modern interiors, so excuse me if it's a little bit rough. I textured the floor here with a bit of this white concrete powder and the diorite on the edge. Tried to get as much white in with the gray accents, but also some, brown with the dark oak. I feel like that's pretty important. If we turn down this way, we have the bedroom. I did like a really fun accent wall in here, which I love. I think it blends really well with that lily. If you are playing this in survival, I also put a bed right here. So obviously this bed can just be for looks, and then this bench here is where you would actually sleep. Of course, we do have this little couch over here where, again, absolutely beautiful view. I love these end rods for the exterior detail, but on the interior, they're actually really handy because they give this like really nice glow effect in the inside. So it looks like the sun is coming in, even though the sun right there is like way over there. It's really nice. It gives a really nice glow and it makes it so I don't have to put as much lighting on the inside. Alright, anyways, let's head back up out of this little sitting area here. Of course, we have the end rod and beacon lighting coming down. Here we have this cute little chandelier, little reading nook in around the corner. And this, my friends, is the dining room and kitchen. I think this is where I had definitely the most fun. I did like an attempt at a modern fireplace over here. Cute little kind of sitting arrangement, lots of plants as per usual with my designs. This little kitchen was so much fun. Oh my gosh, there's so much more possibility in modern kitchen designs than there is in medieval. I really like this. I wish I had this in real life. Now, before we go down that staircase, let's head down this one first. This is what takes us down into that like sort of main pool slash sitting area down here. So we do have a little bit of a fire area. I imagine this is where you would kind of entertain, maybe barbecue, have some friends over. This is kind of the main deck of the whole thing, and I really like this view. Even though it's kind of a plain modern house, you know, I think it looks good. I think I would like to spend some time here, genuinely. Right, heading back inside though, now let's head down that other staircase in the kitchen. This was probably my biggest struggle of the entire thing. A little aquarium here, kind of foreshadows as to what's down here, which is a massive aquarium. The shaders are kind of making it a little fuzzy. I really like this. Kind of puts me back towards my old Let's Play series where I had a lot of aquariums. I like adding aquariums. I tried to break up this room a little bit and have it be a little bit survival friendly. So we have some little farms growing over here to harvest food, and we also have a little bit of a storage area. And down here, of course, this is the main like entertainment area, I guess, kind of like a rec room if you guys have that in your homes. I like this, but I do think it's a little empty and it's a little small, and it's that way because of how the exterior is. As you can see, we can't go down any further and we can't go up any further. This whole kind of square room, a little awkward, but I like what I did with it and I think it's got some potential. Now let's head back outside and talk about the build itself. So I'm going to start with the things that I like, and then I'm going to move into things that I don't like quite as much when taking on the modern style. So I really like the little details I was able to get here. I think I did a pretty good job of the horizontal, like there's all of these big horizontal lines, and I think I balanced those pretty well with these vertical lines going up, particularly in this area. Gets a little rougher over here. I was modeling this off of some sort of real life houses that I saw. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. I also like that although this is the modern style, I was able to add a little bit of texturing, adding in the little wool layers or the diorite layers, throwing in spruce wood with those grays to kind of break it up, and also all of these little kind of bush areas. I like this little solar panel situation up here. I think it breaks it up well. The only thing I would add to kind of the roof area is I almost want to do a helicopter pad. I think that would look so cool, especially on top of the mountain here, or maybe in this area hanging over. If I was to add something, that is what I would add. Oh, look at that lava over there. Oh my gosh, this seed is just, it's lovely. Okay, anyway, sorry, distracted. Okay, now let's get into the first thing that I don't like about this house. It's, how do I say it? It's just plain. It's a lot of rectangles and squares stacked on top of each other with not a lot else. It's a little bit boring to me in comparison to some of the other builds I do with like dragons and fantasy stuff. If I was to do this again, I think I would turn one of these buildings on an angle and have some sort of fancy curvy like tower coming out of them. I think that would look quite a lot better, and it would add some interest to me while I'm building it, which is really important. You have to be interested in what you're doing, and if you don't like building straight lines, then modern's really not for you. The other thing I would probably change up is the colors. White and gray are super important, but I would have liked to have maybe another accent or depend on the bushes a little less in order to get better colors and better shapes here, giving especially this section right here a little bit more depth and interest. Right now, when I'm looking at this build, my eye is very much drawn to like this pillar here. And I'd like to have kind of more interesting areas like that where you kind of go, oh, that's really cool. Whereas right now it's like, oh yeah, it's a modern house, and it's just a modern house. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of how I am feeling about this build. The other thing that I think that I could have done better, and again, feel free to critique me in the comments because like I said, I don't do modern style, so if I'm doing something with modern architecture that's wrong, please be nice, but some like nice critiques would be fantastic, so please feel free. But the other thing I'm kind of picking at here is the windows. These are kind of windows that I would do maybe in medieval or a castle or something, just sticking them straight up and down. I think in modern you can do a lot more interesting things with the windows. Oh, I didn't do interior there. My bad. Whoops. Totally could have done that. My bad. Next time. I went way into the mountain. I forgot about that one. Anyways, the windows are kind of boring, right? I think I should have done more like this, where you have this cool wraparound window, or even like this, where all of the walls are windows. Stuff like that to add a lot more interest to the build overall, I think would have helped, rather than these slating windows. Although, having these did help the interior a lot. It made it a lot simpler. Easy to put furniture up against these, whereas with this one, a little more awkward to put furniture up against, but it looks a lot cooler on the exterior. Anyways, guys, that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting this channel. I'm so happy with this build. Like, I know it's not my best build, but modern is hard when all you do ever is like a medieval fantasy mix. It's hard, but it's interesting, and I'm really excited that I tried it, and I'm excited to see all of your reactions, so definitely tell me what you thought down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!